Hi, I'm Paul, and then to start with the first lesson, I want to talk about these four operators. The operations, these we call these operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, will come up time and time again in your GCSE. So we need them to master them, and this is really your foundation for all your GCSE maths. I know that's a bit of a bold statement, but as we go through the maths lessons, you'll see that it all comes back to about handling these operators confidently and with ease. Now, there is something we'll do later on called BODMAS or BIDMAS, and that's called the order of operation. And that's when you might have an equation with two or more of these operations in, and you have to do them in a certain order. But that's for another lesson. Let's get back to these four. And you may be sitting there at the moment thinking, well, what's all this about? I can do these easily. So I want you to start thinking about, what about using them with decimals? How are you with that? What about 4.6 divided by 3.2? Okay. What about using them with mixed numbers? 1 2/3 times 6 3/8. Okay, I don't want to worry you. I just want to start thinking about it. Using fractions, 1/3 plus 1/6. What about using negative numbers? -6 divided by -3. All these I will be covering on a separate video for you, and we'll talk about it. But I just want you to think at the moment, am I confident in using them? That's the main thing we need to be doing. And as I say, we will be covering them. For the meantime, I just want to talk to you about these four operations and something to think about. Okay, I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them into groups. Now you're probably thinking I'm going to put them in two sets like this, plus and subtraction, multiply and divide, and that'd be a logical thing to do because one undoes the other, so it's the inverse. So if you've got a number line, you have 3 and you add 4. To undo that, you just take away 4. The same with multiplication, division. If you're at 18 and you divide by 3, you get to 6. If you want to undo that, you multiply. But these undo each other's operations. So that's a very logical thing to do. But I want to think about you to think about something else. I want it to have it addition and multiplication, division and subtraction. So why have I put them in these sets? Why would I group addition and multiplication together? Well, the important factor is when you're using these on their own, addition and multiplication, you've got an equation with an addition in or a multiplication in, not together because that's going back to BODMAS, then order is not important. What do I mean by that? 3 plus 2 is equivalent, the same as, that's what that sign there means, the same as 2 plus 3. Obviously 3 plus 2 is 5 and 2 plus 3 is 5. And 2 times 3 is 6, and exactly the same as 3 times 2. Now why do I point this out? Because when I teach my grandchildren some maths the other day, and I say to them, what's 6 plus 3? And they say 6, and they put their fingers in the air, and they count off 3 and tell me it's 9. And I say, great. Then I say to them, what's 2 plus 18? In which case, they look at me and say, I haven't got 18 fingers. So the general rule is, when you're doing any addition, if the numbers are not straightforward and small like they are here, you always put the highest number first. So 18 plus 2 is a lot easier to think of than 2 plus 18. So when you're doing addition, always put the biggest number first. Now when you're doing multiplication, the opposite is true. It's always best to put the highest number last. An example would be 45 times 3. Yeah, you might 45 times 3 is a little bit difficult, but 3 times 45 makes it a lot easier. So as long as you've got just multiplication, if you've got 2 or 3 or 4 multiplications, you can put any order you like. Same with adding, if you've got numbers you add in together, put them in any order you like, usually with the grouping together, so to make it easier for yourself. Now, that's the good part about addition and multiplication. Now, on division and subtraction. very important. This, I see a lot of errors coming on GCSE maths with this. Order is important. What do I mean by that? Simply that 4 minus 2 is not equal to, this means not equal to 2 minus 4, because if you was on 4, you take away 2, you get 2. If you're on 2, you take away 4, you get minus 2, so they're not the same as these along the bottom. So what I see when people doing division, quadratic division, they normally put the numbers so they don't like to do with negative numbers, so they make the numbers fit the equation. You cannot, when you're doing subtraction or division, you must be careful. The order which you do it is very important. Okay, so that's why I'm going to end it for now. I hope I give you something to think about, and you look at my other videos. Okay, so far for now.